What, you have a podcast?
Really?
Computer, show the historical documents.
It's just time for a theocratic monarchy. King Trump, for life. Let's go.
I said, no, Sean, I'm going to be a dictator. I said that.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Recovery from Politics Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Frame, and today is Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. There are just so many dumb things. So many dumb things we got to get to today. I will start with a story that actually broke yesterday in Politico. They're reporting that the Energy Department has a loan program with over $200 billion just sitting in it that was allocated. This is mostly from Biden's infrastructure plan. So, here's the issue. Thanks to paperwork and bureaucratic nonsense, of course, and I'm not begrudging that. It's a process, and when you're talking about that much money, you want to make sure it goes where it needs to. But this is all fallout from that Obama Solyndra thing, right? They don't want to do that again. So they've slowed the process down to a crawl, and basically what has happened is we have allocated the Energy Department with several $100 billion. And what we're going to do is, as applications come in, we're going to process them. We're going to say, oh, okay, you are a solid business. You have a great plan. Okay, cool. Here's your money. And this is supposed to help, convert the United States away from fossil fuels to other things. But more importantly, this builds factories. It creates jobs. It's a boost to the economy, right? You're pumping billions, literally billions of dollars into the economy. This is a good thing. Why is this a dumb thing? Because Biden and his great group of people he's got around him have gone ahead and created a program that still has over $200 billion in it, and that money will not be spent before November. It will roll over to whoever the next president is. And I say it's dumb because who in their right mind is going to turn over money to the next guy who gets and will boast about it, right? This is Trump we're talking about here. He did take credit for things that Obama did. He does that. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. So there's this rumor. It's well known. You hear about the fascists and the rumor is, well, they make the trains run on time. And that is a complete falsehood. Every time something like that has happened, it's because the regime in charge prior to the fascists did something that just took a while to implement. And then fascists happen to be in power when that thing happens. And then they're like, look, this is the thing we did. Isn't it great? And everyone's like, wow, the fascists are awesome. Congratulations. No, yeah, that was good. I like that my vote went there. I'm glad I voted in the fascists. They made the trains run on time. When in reality, that's not what happens. So there's a historical precedent for this. And also, we know who Trump is. And there's a real danger of this. And it's dumb for Biden to try and be goosing the economy right now to keep the economy going. Because by all traditional metrics, the United States has the best economy in the world post-COVID. That is a good thing. He wants to keep it going. He wants to do better even at it. And pumping these hundreds of billions of dollars into the economy would surely do it. But what does he do? He creates a program that holds on to the money for so long that it's quite possible that Trump gets into office before all this money goes out, and he will take credit for every single thing. He will take the hundreds of billions there, and he will put his flunkies in charge of the Energy Department, and they will make sure that money goes to the right donors. So congratulations, Biden, you just handed it off. This is all a huge gamble. You're hoping that this $200 billion is still there when you win re-election. That's like having a full house in your hand while you're playing poker and you're like, meh, I'm going to put those two kings to the side. I don't need them. I'll just try a three of a kind. It's like, dude, what the hell are you doing? I don't know. I just think it was extremely stupid to have any kind of timetable that could possibly be there. I mean, everyone knew Trump was going to be here in 2024. I certainly knew it. This is one of the things that pissed me off about Merrick Garland taking his sweet-ass time doing anything anti-Trump. It's like, dude, you need to, get here. And the fact that the infrastructure bill was passed and Garland still hadn't done jack nor shit should have been a huge red flag to the Biden people. Hey, maybe we don't do this. And also, if you're a Democrat, you've got to be pissed off. This is money that could be going into one of your districts. But instead, it's sitting there, and it's not. So you're going to get blamed for it. Trump's going to get in office. Possibly a Republican's going to be in your district next year, and they're going to take credit for it. And they didn't do anything for it. They didn't vote for it or anything. It's just something. It's a gift from the Biden administration to whoever happens to be in charge next time. What a great thing he did. Absolutely dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb. And that's not the only dumb thing, because I heard something else this morning that is absolutely ridiculous and pisses me off. So, try to remember, there's a border problem going on. Biden, for months, has been saying, I can't do anything unless the House takes up my Senate bill. And the Senate has passed this thing. And Chuck Schumer has been on Threads and Twitter and anywhere else you want to go talking about how it's so irresponsible for the House to just not take this vote up. Because they don't want to fund the border because it's an issue they don't like. Whatever. Maybe I've got those backwards and it's the House that passed it and the Senate that won't take it up, or the Senate that won't vote for it because Republican obstructionism. Point is, the Republicans wouldn't pass it one way or the other, and the president has been sitting there going, well, my hands are tied, I can't do anything. Guess what Biden's doing this morning? He's going to sign an executive order to do something about the border. This undercuts his main argument that has been going on for months now, is that he can't do anything without Congress. And many people, myself included, applaud any president that actually sits there and says, honestly, I don't have the power to do this without Congress, because it's very rare for a United States president to admit they don't have power for something and don't just try to unilaterally do it. But guess what? Biden went ahead and did it. Fox News is already spinning it. It's ridiculous. Why would you gift them this right now? See? He could do something. We told you he could do something, and he did not need Congress to do it. Congress, that has been their whole thing on the House and the Senate. Every Republican is like, the president is not using the powers he already has. They've been screaming that. That has been their message. They have been very clear on that message since day one of the whole border fight and everything. The president has these powers. He does not need us. He can do something about the border right now. And the president the entire time has been sitting there saying, no, actually, I need Congress. I can't. I need that bill. And then this morning he says, actually, I'm going to just sign an executive order and fix it. It's like, who the hell is running the White House? Who is advising the president? Does he not understand that it makes everyone look like assholes who's been defending him this whole time? Like, there have been a lot of people out who have, walked the plank and said, no, seriously, the president can't do this without it. That has been our argument. We have been defending him on this forever, and he just made all of us look like assholes. And he gave fuel to the Republicans. It's already there. It took all of 2 minutes. The story broke. Fox was already like, we fucking told you he's a liar. We told you the president had the power. He just didn't have the will to do it. Congratulations, Biden. You just proved your enemies right, and you made all your allies look like chumps. So guess what? We always say that the big danger, I say that the big danger isn't the extremists. It's when the moderates decide to stay home. It's when the moderates decide, I just don't care anymore. I don't. If the extremists want to rise up and burn it all down, you know what? I just can't. I cannot be bothered. You just made a shit ton of those. Okay? There were a lot of moderates who are out there and were saying, look, I get the Republican argument, I get the Democratic argument, but honestly, he needs Congress. I don't see what the big deal is. One chamber passed it, the other didn't. As soon as, Trump said, I want this issue to be on the ballot. Biden, you idiot. This is dumb. You should have stuck to your guns and been like, hey, I need a bill to be passed. I need a bill to be passed. That put the entire onus onto the Republican Party. Most people who at least occasionally read the fucking news for themselves knew the problem with the border, to a degree, was the Republicans' fault. You said you wanted a bill. You approved the bill that was passed. It was passed in one chamber and then completely stopped in its tracks in the other because Trump said something. And everyone knew it. So all you had to do was shut the fuck up. What is it, Nancy Pelosi's strategy? When your enemy's lighting themselves on fire, fucking let them. You just put out the fire. You just made this your problem again. You proved them right. Moderates will stay home because of this. They are going to feel lied to. They are going to feel like you're playing fucking games. You idiot. This was a huge mistake. Massive. All you had to do was stay quiet and keep repeating the same line. Democrats are so horrible at messaging. Republicans have been messaging the exact same thing since day one on this. The president has the power. He is just refusing to do it. They even impeached his fucking Homeland Security guy, Mayorkas, over it. It hasn't gone anywhere. They're slow walking that. But guess what just got new fuel to the fire? Oh, look, see, the president can do it. It's so mind-bogglingly stupid. You know, I mean, screw the idea that I don't even like the fucking bill. I think what Trump did down at the border was horrific. I think what Biden's doing is equally bad. And now he just handed it back to them. Ah, fuck it. We don't need to score here. Here's the football. You guys go ahead and have a turn. You runts. The hell. Ah, it's so dumb. So dumb. That is one of the largest self-owns I've seen in a long time by a president. Like seriously, you dumb son of a bitch. That's just... You just prove them right. You idiot. And again, whoever's advising the president, you need to shut the fuck up and get fired. Seriously. The president needs to fire whoever the fuck is advising him. Because somebody did not speak up. And whoever did speak up, if there was anyone who was like, dude, what are you doing? We are in an election year. You cannot do this. Wait until after the election. November 6th is so close. You could wait until November 6th. Whether you win or lose, you're lame duck. Fuck it. You think it's the right thing to do. Go ahead and do it. Dumb. But that's not even the dumbest thing that happened yesterday. No, the dumbest thing that happened yesterday had to do with the great state of Arizona, which decided, its Supreme Court decided that, you know, this 15-week abortion ban, that's not going to work. We can't enforce that. And at first everyone's like, oh, whew, good. They're going to keep abortions on the ballot. No. They decided to go all the way back to a law written and signed into law in 1864, before Arizona was a state, before it had a single elected official. An 1864 ruling. No exemptions for incest or rape, because back then, those were cool. You could do that. No one cared. And only a very vague description of what it means to be a mother who could possibly die if this baby comes to term. So, congratulations, Arizona Supreme Court. Now, of course, this will get challenged. Like, nobody's been... Like, seriously, how are laws written and passed before the state is even a fucking state? How are those precedent? Like, I get federal laws, because we did start somewhere, right? I mean, you can't just say, okay, as of July 4th, 1776, we have no laws on the books. I mean, you got to start somewhere. I get it. But states, as territories, like, you were technically not part of the you weren't the United States. I could see them, like, if the Supreme Court had pulled, or Arizona, if the state Supreme Court had pulled some federal law from 1864 and be like, look, this was the law of land all the way back then. I would not agree with it because I think the whole thing's stupid, but I mean, I could see it. I could be like, okay, well, the federal government was a thing. You were a territory, so technically you fall under that. But state laws, like, what? What the... Like, I don't get it. In an irrational, sane world, the Supreme Court of the United States would step in right now and say, no, you can't fucking do that. That's dumb. It's dumb. At least use something within the last 100 fucking years? And how are you going to go all the way back to 1864 on goddamn abortions? There have been some medical advancements since then. We don't do bloodletting anymore. Like, seriously, what the fuck? It's one of the dumbest decisions I've ever even heard of. And again, Arizona was not a state. The Civil War was still happening. But they went ahead and did this. And the only thing I can think is that it's designed somehow to get to the Supreme Court. So maybe the Supreme Court could use that as precedent, although I don't see how. But then again, I mean, don't put anything past the Supreme Court to find some, arcane bullshit to pull out of their ass and be like, nope, that's law now. Here you go. But apparently this thing is so dumb and so bad that even Republicans in the Arizona House and Senate are like, can we repeal it, please? So that's something good. It is possible that this gets repealed very quickly. It's so unpopular that Carrie Lake, who's still trying to run for statewide office in Arizona, is actually backtracking on it and is like, oh my God, they went too far, even though she's previously said she's in favor of a complete and total federal ban on the abortions. So, I mean, there is some light at the end of this tunnel. It is possible that the people of Arizona, the electors, the people who are elected, actually do recognize that this is very, very bad for them and should not happen. And they could actually do something. And as we saw with the TikTok ban, when Congress wants to do something, they can do it very quickly. So hopefully there's no, anything. Because again, the state has already passed this 15-week thing. So they don't need to pass anything. They just need to repeal a law from 1864. So they can do that. That should be very easy. Hey, we're just striking this one from the record. And then the Supreme Court of Arizona won't have any choice but to either accept the 15-week thing or relitigate the whole fucking thing. But the 1864 law would be removed from the books. So, hey, cool. That's no longer a thing. I mean, this really came out of right field. This was not anything that most legal people actually thought the Supreme Court would do. If this were Alabama or like Mississippi or Missouri, sure. Tennessee, absolutely. I could totally see him doing some bullshit like this. Arizona was kind of like, I didn't know Arizona was that fucked up. It's one of those things. Yeah, it's kind of a purple state, but yeah, you didn't know. Things you don't know. You some people you think are really smart until they open their fucking mouth, and then you're like, oh my God, what happened to you? So that was officially the dumbest thing, although seriously, that Biden thing today, that could take the cake for me on the dumbest fucking self-own of a president I've ever seen. That just, who does that? Oh, and his advisors should be fired. And I know he hasn't signed the executive order. He could still come out and be like, actually, that was some bullshit. But it was his own press department that put it out, so that's not good. And yeah, his advisors, I mean, seriously, fire everyone and start over. I know it's a bad look to do that, but Trump gets to do it all the time and nobody gives a fuck. His entire campaign, all 3 times, have been complete train wrecks. People coming and going, being fired and rehired and everything, and it's fine. It's fine. No one's going to care. Remember, democracy's on the ballot. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again tomorrow.